How does that feel?
And it was awesome. It was awesome. Just having that moment, just being able like to call my dad and just like really think like, who would have thought like when we walked on here, you'd end up being a captain, 6 years later. But it was a really special moment. Just be able to tell my parents and my brothers here, and just after all the work and just be able to like lead these guys, this particular group, it's really special and important to me.
Were you expecting that?
I mean, like, you think so, right? But you just never know because it's like a team. Like the team voted, so like, maybe you're not, maybe you're too old and get on out of here. But
yeah,
it was a really nice surprise.
You mentioned it a little bit, but this is also such a veteran-laden group. I mean, you've been here for 5-6 years with a lot of these guys. To be a captain, knowing the guys around you, knowing how many people came back, does that make it mean more?
I think it does. Just because, one of the biggest things when I was hurt, I worried that like I wouldn't be able to like have that role anymore. And shout out to Coach Mack and Coach Board for always trying to like put me in those positions and make me feel comfortable, even when I wasn't like physically able to play. And like shout out to those guys for still listening to me, even though I was kind of an old head that couldn't do it much, But like the only thing I do, I just try to be the best teammate possible for those guys, and it does mean a lot just for me to be their captain.
Going through scrimmages and stuff, obviously you can't fully play in practices. But how confident are you right now that like, okay, I'm the best version of myself right now as a player?
No, I definitely feel that every single day, and like I look at the numbers and I'm playing at such a faster speed, like our catapults, like they literally break it down to us. So I'm literally playing at like my best right now. So mentally, it's like the same thing, just being able to play more free. My mom always calls me and she like, I can tell when you're thinking too much. And so I'm trying to play more free in that regard, and I've been doing a great job of that as well.
Is your mom your biggest critic among family, or who gets it to you the most?
Like my mom and my dad are, but like they do it in such a way where it's like it's kind of funny. So they'll be like, for example, like for one time we lost, he's like, yeah, you guys really have in the first half, but like you guys just gave it away. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what happened, Dad. Like it wasn't as if I was on the field when that happened. But yeah, no, they've been great. Definitely, I feel like I'm my biggest critic, but I always like enjoy their input on games as well.
Eddie, we've talked to some of the younger guys, talked to Javon.
Yeah.
The depth here is really great. What have you seen from the growth of these guys, from the younger guys?
Man, I never seen a group of young guys learn such a complex playbook super fast. And, that's just kudos to them and just being able to be mature in that sense, I've been here for a long time, and it's not frequent to see freshmen, one, be mature and do the right things, and two, understand a playbook and play at a high level. And we have a lot of young guys such as, Austin Mack, who's been doing like a tremendous job during camp. Just like being able to be dialed. We got Keith, being dialed, Devin Bryant's another one, just always being like attentive, asking questions, where I'm just like, man, I can't wait to see him play in the next couple of years. So, they're going to be a very talented class,
Do you remember back in how hard it was to get all that right? I mean, you've had some changes over the years too, right? Yeah.
Man, it was terrible the first couple of days. Cause I just, you just think like one man, one gap, and it's like, nah, you got to look at the swipes and the motions and everything. Like, man, it was a pain, but like, you just grow in pain. Ask your older guys, ask the GAs that know the playbook as much as the coaches. So it was a grind for sure.
I don't know if anybody asked you, but you've been around a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you've had a lot of interactions with Jen Cohen.
Yeah.
And just your reaction when you heard that Jen was taking from USC.
Definitely like hurt a little bit, but like you gotta understand that she's been there for 25 years, and like she's done her due diligence like wholeheartedly, and sometimes it's just time for her to leave, and like this is her next challenge, and I'm 100% supportful for that, and I wish her the best. And the University of Washington's a great place, and I'm sure that we're going to get another great AD as well.
And when you see her on the sidelines at USC, because you will.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, I mean, be mean before the game. We'll be nice after the game.
Yeah. This is game week next week.
Yeah.
So what is this week for you guys? Is it just a culmination of the last 3 weeks, or are you ramping up a little bit?
I think the challenge for us is just to make sure that it's not just like, let's not wait for the game. I think these next 10 days, it's just being like still trying to like consistently improve, as well as like incorporate the game plan that we have for these guys. So it's not just like, okay, like we'll just sit back and wait for the game because fall camp's open. Like, no, it's like always being on that attack mode. So, it's, you know, it's always like having that mindset, like, hey, let's try to get better for this game. Let's not just think like, hey, we're as good as we can right now. We have 10 days to get better, so let's like enforce those 10 games as well.
Eddie, it struck me today that things were really upbeat, more so than ever. I mean, the pace was really fast.
Yeah.
Usually, coming to the end of fall camp, it should be kind of dragging a little bit before you get a boost to play the game.
Yeah.
Seems like you guys are on a real high right now, or they've got you in a real motivated mindset.
I mean, when you got coaches like us, there's no lackadaisical out here. So I mean, it's just a standard. It's just what we do. You know, like every single practice, we're trying to like improve and get you know, be the best players we can be. Like I remember one practice where I kind of had to psych myself into like turning up, and then, like it was literally just like they ran a play and it was a trick play the first play. So I'm just like, yep, that's going to be the thing that just teased me off, and you know, like just rally the troops, and we had a great practice. So it's the same thing. You know, you're not going to feel the greatest every single practice. Like I get that, but like there's still work to be done. And as a person like me who's like spent 18 months without playing like the game, like I understand how important it is to practice hard every single day. So I don't take it for granted at all.
You hear that a lot in terms of in sports, guys finding something to turn it on. Michael Jordan, and I took that personally all the time. Is that something that you feel like you use a lot in terms of just finding this or that, finding something to kind of crank it a little bit?
Yeah, my teammates think I'm petty because I really, it really be the smallest things. Like if J-Mac, it would be like J-Mac will talk trash on one play, even though I lock him up, and it's just like, that's the thing. So, but it's just like always trying to have that competitive edge, always trying to like reach that little, like that peak of like, you know, intensity without like going overboard and being out of control. So it's just another one of the things like I just try to, you know, be as competitive as I can be.
Just lastly, you've been around a lot of linebackers here. The group that you got now, you and Raylan and Zoe and Drew and on and on and on, Carson. How do you feel like that group in terms of depth perspective and just rolling through guys stacks up with the groups you've seen here?
No, I feel like I'm very fortunate to have those guys because I have like not only guys that are just like super talented and can play at such a high level. I also have guys that like I can always like ask questions to, like, hey, like I have this idea. Do you think I can shoot this gap? No, I don't think. And then, you know, it's really just like it's kind of like kangaroo court in our, you know, our position room, because we always just like have like straight conversations. We're always talking about like the game is such a high intense level, you know, and just kind of have to tell us to shut up sometimes. So it's been great.
How much did last year when you were hurt studying and watching the defense help coming into this year? Just from like understanding the speed and things like that.
I think it helped a lot, you know, just being able to like to see like the coaching aspect and, you know, being able to ask the question on the field instead of being put into the fire. I feel like it's different when you're in the fire for sure, and there are definitely some things that I had to learn throughout playing, but you know, it's always just it was a nice head start for where I'm at right now.
With all the linebackers you're playing with, what makes Zoe different? What is it about